In 1839, the French chemist Michel Chevreul introduced his law. Two adjacent colors, when seen by the eye, will appear as dissimilar as possible. And what that means is that if you put two colors side by side, the complement of one color will bleed into the other color. Well, there is the bowl and flower on the yellow checkered tablecloth. And now I'm going to try to show you a bit of what simultaneous contrast will do to neutral colors like the bowl here. So we're going to have to move this and put this other colored tablecloth down here. The camera has an automatic exposure that changes the value when there's less light or when there are darker objects. And so there's a value change when I change the tablecloth from the red back to the white, back to the yellow. And you'll see that, but this was all done in one clip, specifically so that I could show the change in colors from the purplish background and bowl to the more greenish one. Now, the bowl, shadow in the bowl is more of a greenish color. And it was purplish a few moments ago. So the bowl itself is slightly yellowish. Inside the bowl here is greenish. This back here is pinkish to me in real life. And I'm going to change it back to the yellow now. And we'll see if the bowl indeed does look more purple as contrast to the yellow tablecloth. So. Like that. And again, we're looking inside the bowl here. And if your vision is like mine, the inside of that bowl looks more like purple now. So I would be painting that with this yellow tablecloth. I would be painting that a blue, violet, gray. And that's hard to visualize by itself. And I've had difficulty with teaching the concept to people because I believe there's a very important thing that happens when you're painting outside, and that involves this thing of simultaneous contrast. I find it is more actually important to an artist to understand that a neutral changes color quite drastically depending upon the bright color next to it, or even not next to it, just in the same general vicinity is what I found to be true. I was painting the cathedral in Jackson Square in New Orleans many years ago. I'd been studying with my teacher, who was a famous colorist, and he had been imploring me to use relationships. In other words, looking at things simultaneously to see the relationship between the colors. And I was painting a piece of the cathedral. On the left side was a yellow fence, large yellow fence for some renovations, and on the right side was a red brick apartment building. So I'm painting the cathedral, which is a gray, and I painted it a purplish gray because it was in shadow. And a little while later, I was working on another part of the canvas. I looked back to the cathedral, and it looked green to me. And so I changed the color to a green and was painting along, and a little while later, I looked back and it looked purple again. So I changed it to purple, and then I changed it back to green again. And after doing this several times, I was exasperated. I just scraped all the color off, and I didn't know what to do. And then I looked at it, and I realized that what was happening was that when I looked at the yellow fence at the same time as the gray, it turned a purplish color, and when I looked at the red brick building, it turned a greenish color. And that was quite a shock to me. My teacher had been telling me to do that, but I wasn't doing the relationships enough. What he had actually trained me to do, supposedly, was scan and look across the entire scene that you're looking at. So when I finally did that, I realized that the church in its neutral was actually a turquoise color. And that's why Impressionists don't use any grays. They can put grays in them for clouds and things. So that's okay. It's a neutral, But if you want to carry it to the extreme truth of relationships, those clouds will be a color, and they will be a color in relationship to the bright colors around them, which it introduces another complexity, and that is that you can actually choose to paint it. That cathedral, I could have chosen to paint it purple and been perfectly truthful. painted green, it would have been perfectly truthful. Painted the turquoise, and it's truthful in a different way. So I have the choice of which color to use. And if there was a lot too much purple in that thing and turquoise already, I might want to make that cathedral a green, just so that it wouldn't be the same as the other colors I was using in other parts of the painting. It's up to me to do that. But I think, naturally speaking, what we'll do if we look at a scene and there are neutrals in it, is that the sense of harmony in our own mind, in our own bodies, human beings are harmonious beings, we sense harmony. And sensing harmony inadvertently or subconsciously, to sense harmony in a scene with several neutrals means that we would automatically pick colors for those neutrals. If there's a lot of bright colors in the scene along with the neutrals, we will pick colors for those neutrals that are harmonious, and our scene will be beautiful. And you might think, oh well, if the person is an awful person and doesn't have harmony in other parts of his life, maybe that person won't produce harmonies. So there's a good reason for being a good person. You can make better art that way.